Alright y'all, it is time for the finale of MegaTagmension Blanc plus Neptune versus Zombies. And how am I going to end this off? Well, there's not exactly a clear way to tell where to find the treasures, so I made a guide to the best of my ability. This is all based on my experience and my playthrough, so it may vary from person to person because there might be more than one location for some of these treasures, but there are a handful that I know for a fact only spawn in one spot because of RNG. Yes, we will get into that later, but with that said, wow, why is my computer doing that? Anyway, with that said, I won't be able to actually share the treasures. I honestly cannot remember them. I remember the locations of each thing, no problem, because it took forever to get everything. Yes, I'm tired. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's get this bad boy rolling, shall we? As soon as I cut. Cut. Dude, there we go. Okay, so for the 2-ton dream, you can get the item drops from cut 4-3, and this applies to both A and B. Remember, there are 5 parts, but they're lettered A to B, so you can get in 4-3, you can get A and B. Also with B, you can find that in 5-3. That I do know for a fact. Now with C, D, and E, you can find them in 9-5. And you're gonna notice that in this video, I am gonna be partnered up with either Neptune or Neptune. I had a massive brain fart. Why is that? It's because of their Lily rank ability, which is to increase the item drop rate. This is only useful in single player because that's the only time Lily ranks actually take effect, so crap. Oh well. But on to the next one, Nep Station Machine. For part A as well as B, you can find the treasures in 4-5. And also with treasure A, you can find it in 9-3. You get it from the emboss, quote unquote. Also in 9-3, you can find treasure C. I want to say it drops from the lizard-like creatures. I honestly can't tell, but since you have to kill all the enemies, you may as well go ahead and do it. There's no reason to really not do it, you know? So you'll eventually get it. It's, again, as long as you're paired up with Netgear or Neptune, you really shouldn't have too much trouble getting the story treasures, especially if you leveled up the Lily rank. And which one is this? Oh yeah, Nep Station Machine Part D, you can find in 6-5, I believe this is what it is. Yes. And then in which one is this? Oh right, 6-1. You can find E for Nep Station Machine. This might end up being one of the first ones you get because I noticed that the drop rate was kind of, you know, generous. But then again, you might get lucky with STV Skeleton because all of the treasure can be found in 4-2. So just run that a few times when you're paired with Neptune or Netgear. You should get that no problem. There are a couple treasures that are like this, and I will get into that later. And also you can find treasures from different machines within the same cuts. I'll get into that later. Now, some treasures can only be found in multiplayer, such as the Genesis Drive. You'll have to go specifically Last Stand for part A and B of Genesis Drive. This is the only one I can actually find them in. So, if anyone else found these treasures somewhere else, feel free to share because I had a hard time finding them. With C, D, and E, however, it's not relegated to a quest rather than a monster. You can find them from Doomkale. So any quest that Doomkale is found in, you can get C, D, or E for the Genesis Drive. And honestly, it's not that hard. I got it by complete accident. I had to go back and watch my own playthrough to figure this out. Okay, and so Legend Station is a 4.2. I think all of them can be found in 4.2. Yes, all of them can be found in 4.2. So you can get the Legend Station and the STV skeleton in C4.2 or Cut 4.2, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter. Now, Ocean Station 2nd. These names are kind of silly. This can also be found in just one simple quest, 5.1, and I believe. Well, I don't know if I got them all in one shot, but it's very possible to get everything in one go. So, this may be something you get by accident as well. Definitely one of the easier ones to get. The next one, however, it's somewhat easy, and also you can find them in multiple quests. I know for piece A of Gold Station 3rd, it can be found in only 5.5. For me, anyway. I actually could not find it anywhere else. But for B, C, D, and E, you can find them in 4.5, and then it gets a little complicated after that because C can also be found in 6.5, D can be found in 5.5, and E can also be found in 6.5. So it's kind of scattered all over the place, but you do have a chance of finding most of them in just one, aside from Gold Station 3rd, Piece A. That's really the only one you gotta wait for. Now, Origin Station 4th. Well, I'm actually getting ahead of myself because I was not expecting you to blaze through the commentary so fast. Yeah, I think I'm actually showing off like 6.5 and 5.5. The gorilla's dropping, by the way. If there are any enemies that stick out, usually the larger ones, they're the ones that are going to drop the treasures. It's occasionally the smaller moves, but don't get your hopes up. But now that it's switched around, now I can talk about the Origin Station 4th and the BS that I went through. So, pieces A and B, well actually just piece A can be found in 5.4, piece B can be found in 3.4. Now this won't be too much of a problem because it can be teamed up with Netgear or Neptune, so you have a higher chance of getting the drop. Yeah, also I think it was 3.4 or 5.4, whatever happens when I actually get around to editing the video. There are times where you have to go to a different area to fight off a separate group of enemies. You may as well just go ahead and fight off the second group because they're usually the ones that have the drop. Now for piece, I think it was C, that wasn't the one that gave me the crap, but it probably will give people crap. Piece C of Origin Station 4 can only be found when fighting Dark Purple. This applies to piece E, which gave me the most crap because I had to grind this quest for 2 damn days. So yeah, the drop rate, it varies from piece to piece, station to station, device to device. Just keep doing it, you'll get it eventually. Now, piece D of Origin Station 4 can be found by fighting Dark White. And I'm leaving this in just to show how much this guard damage this attack does if you don't have any parts. Yeah. So, you might want to use some of the parts you got from the other Dark History bosses whenever you fight Dark White, because she is definitely the most aggressive out of the 4. Moving on though to, oops, I did it again. Anyway, now my computer's stopped being stupid. Sakura Station. You can find piece A in 3.2, which should be on screen right now. And then piece B will be found in 2.1. The pieces are kind of all over the place. In fact, you can actually get A and C in 3.2 for Sakura Station. And then it's for D, you have to go to 2.3. And then you gotta go back to 2.2 for piece E. I don't know why it's out of order like that. I'm just going in ABC order. If it was in numerical order, that'd be a different case. But whatever, I guess it doesn't really matter because the drop rate is pretty, I would say it's pretty generous for these. I didn't have too much trouble getting this one at all. And also something to note about Dengekiko, because there's quite a few seconds. The only main difference between her and her transformation is her speed, so she'll attack quicker. It's slightly harder actually, but she doesn't become radically different when she transforms. Famitsu, she kinda, I think she gets a new move or two when she transforms, but that's not what we're talking about now that the video transitioned. I can talk about Finr Station. Piece A can be found in 3.1, and then piece B can be found in 2.3. Yeah, there's nothing really to say about it. It's also pretty easy to get these two pieces. However, C, D, and E is a little tricky because you actually have to go to the online quest. The one I would recommend doing is Twin Thunders, because the two bosses actually drop C, D, and E. I don't know who drops who, but all I know is I got all of them just doing this one. So might want to save yourself some time and just fight off both of them, and hope RNG is kind to you. Like, yeah, this one didn't give me trouble like Dark Purple, but because you can't pair up with Neptune and Netgear, well, actually, I don't think Lily rank skills, but yeah, Lily rank skills definitely aren't apply. They don't reply in online. So, luck is the name of the game when going for these online materials. P Blossom. Ooh, what is this one? This one is 5.1. Yeah, that's it. Both A and B can be found in 5.1. Interestingly enough, 6.3 can also give you part A, and then 5.4 can give you part B. I don't know why. That's just how it is. And then for C, D, and E, you can go to 10.3 and get all three of them, no problem. Now, I didn't really show off Plutia in the main playthrough, so I guess I'll talk about it now. She actually gets buffs when she attacks, like attack and defense. You'll probably see it on the screen, but I wasn't able to show it off because I was unable to actually not update. Well, technically it is updating, but level up her combo meter so I can show that off. But she can be good as long as you're aware of your surroundings, because she's extremely slow. But anyway, now we're moving on to what I consider not the hardest, but kind of they should have handled this one better. The P Valon N. This is the one that grants you 52,000 ability points upon completion and a crap ton of money. You can get all the parts from the Thursday quest. And the Thursday quest also appear on Sunday. I think it's from between 6 and 7. I don't know, because all of the daily quests do appear on Sunday all at once. I just can't remember the time frame. But yeah, that's the only time you can get the P-Valon parts. And I recommend doing that ASAP because the 5,200 ability points is it's just nice to have, especially for story. Now I kind of talked over double white R, but all you gotta do is multiplayer quest. Oh, shoot, which one? Wasteland Army. That's all you have to do, and that's in the 1-star category. You get all the parts there. Now for Neo White S and R, you can get A and B in 4.4. A can also be found in 5.3 for some reason. So those two aren't hard, but this is another case where you have to get the rest of the pieces in online. They can all be gained from Tim Dinkale, and he was generous with me. I don't know if it varies between boss and boss for the drops, because I do believe he was one of the first bosses to get me their armor set as well. Don't quote me on that because I honestly don't remember. But yeah, he was relatively generous. I think I got 2 of them in run run, and then the last piece in the final one. Now GBI is A and B can only be found in the 2-star quest triple threat. The thing is, the drop rate is so abysmal. This also took me a couple of days in order to just get, which one was it? It was A. I don't know, for some reason 2 days worth of tries did not gain me a and then I randomly did it earlier today, and I got it. I was like, oh, sure, why not? Now for C, you just had to do 10-6 in story mode. I say you just have to do that because you're teamed up with Neptune, so you'll probably get it, no problem. And then for D and E, actually, well, I try to remember. The boss that drops C for this one is Huge Dugu. So go after that. The reason I say that is because I think it does spawn before the lower enemies. I think. Don't quote me on that. Oh, right. 4-3 is where you can get D and E for GDI. That's right. But that is something to keep in mind. If, I guess, the main target spawns with lower enemies, just go after the main target. That is if you're trying to get all the treasures. It just saves time is all. So keep that in mind. Now MNB 64, all of the pieces can be found in 2-1, and A, B, and C can also be found in 2-2. This should be an easy one because the quests are just stupidly easy, and you can team up with Neptune or Netgear. Now pick 64, what kind of names are these? Anyway, pick 64, all of the pieces for that treasure can be found in 4-3, and all but E can also be found in 6-7. Why E is excluded from 6-7? I didn't make the game, so I can't answer that for you. And G-Bag, saying these names out loud, I feel kind of stupid. But G-Bag, you can get all of the pieces in Dooku Party, and that is a 1-star quest in multiplayer. And yeah, now the drop rate for this is actually pretty generous to me anyway. I might have just gotten lucky, but they all drop no problem for me in like 2 runs. So there's that. Now the P cube, piece A can be found in 5-2 as well as 8-4. And while I'm on the subject, 8-4 can also drop piece B. And then, before I get too far ahead of myself, you can actually take off the parts that the transformations naturally come equipped with. It doesn't actually affect their attack, more so their defense and their HP. That's really what all the part sets are for. They don't actually boost your strength. They're just mainly to help you survive more. So, and they also have various guard levels. So the higher the guard level, the less damage you'll take when guarding, which is pretty cool. There's one I want to say you take 0 guard damage, that or is the damage is so minimal. So I'm gonna get distracted. Anyway, so I mentioned that P cube you can get A in 5-2 and then B in 8-4. With C and D you can find that in 10-6, and then you can find E and which one is that? E is 5-2. Yes, I probably should wrote this down so I wouldn't have a struggle trying to remember. But since I spent so much time finding this stupid stuff, it's like it's muscle memory at this point. Moving on, DA Sled or the Sled. I don't know. DA, am I reading that right? Yeah, DA Sled. What kind of name? Anyway, you can find piece A in 2-3 and 3-4. And then for piece B, you can find that in 3-3. The pieces are kind of all over the place actually, because C you can find that in 2-2 and then 2-3. So actually you can get A and C in the same place, as well as D. D can be found in 2-3 as well. And then D and E for the DA Sled can be found in 4-4. So they're not hard per se to get because they're in the earlier quests. It's just they're kind of all over the place. So some of them are like that, some of them aren't. But what can you do? You can complain, but it won't do you any good now, will it? Anyway, oh, what in the world? Oh, right, I didn't show off 4-4. I'm some of the footage is already in Vegas and some of it's not, so I'm trying to go along with it, but I'm confusing myself. But yeah, you should be seeing 4-4 on screen. So for a string of letters and numbers, W125R, what kind of console name is that? Monster Sweep in 1-star quest. That is where you can find all of the pieces actually. And if you're lucky like me, you'll get it in one shot. So yeah, nothing else to really say about that. One of the more easy ones to get, as well as the next one, the 3D sloths. The 3D sloths? I don't understand that. But did I just I think So I think past me when he was editing the footage, he edited to where I cut to the other area for the W1125R. I have no idea why, but oh well, I'm leaving that in for the sake of simpler editing. Yeah, don't mind me. But anyway, getting back on topic, 3D sloths that can be found in all the pieces, mind you, can be found in 4.2. And I can't think of, well, the Super Otaku, I don't know if it's Super Otaku or Nerd or whatever, but the quote-unquote boss nerd thing, whatever, that's where you can find it. That's who will drop it, I should say. Now, which one is this actually? Oh yeah, the special EX can, oh, there's no, yeah, it can be found in Monster Sweep, so you can get special EX and the W1125R Monster Sweep. Yeah, that just occurred to me. Monster Sweep is the 1-star quest that I mentioned earlier. The Launch EX is, this is a 4-star quest. What's the name of this quest? Twin Rocks Battle. Yes, it's where you fight the not golem things. They have various names, so it's kind of hard for me to keep up sometimes with the name of the enemies. But yeah, Twin Rock Battles, you can get all the pieces for the Launch EX, and yeah. Now the final treasure that you can get, well, that you should have right now, yeah, Space EX. It's not hard either. 10-7 you can get A, B, and D. And then for C, you would have to go to 6-7. That's the only piece for Space EX to be found in 6-7. Actually, I think this is the only treasure in 6-7 that you can get. I may be wrong. Oh well. And then for E, you would have to go to E6. Not E6, that is not a number. 8-6. My mistake. But yeah, just take down the larger enemies and you will have a higher chance of getting the treasure. The more common enemies might drop the treasure. I kind of doubt it because I usually don't see the cues that signify that I got a rare item drop for them. But hey, that might just be my luck because, like I said, it took me 2 days to just get one piece. But that is all for the treasure, and honestly, that is all I have to show for MegaTagmension Blanc plus Neptune versus Zombies. And I gotta say, this was one hell of a game. I had just a blast recording it, playing it, sharing it with y'all. I hope I convinced some of y'all to at least give the game a shot. I highly recommend it if you're into hack and slash with a bit of strategy, because there is a lot of depth to the game, and it may seem intimidating because it's definitely hard to get into because there's just so many factors to take into account when going into quests, but it's definitely worth the time and effort once you understand everything. And I babbled on too long, and this is actually my final recording before I go off to basic training. I will give more details as to what will be going on with my channel, and the channel update that will go up tomorrow. or Monday. We will see what happens. But yes, thank y'all for watching, and I hope y'all have a fantastic day, night, morning, whenever y'all decide to watch this. Take care, y'all.